enjoying your day. Thought I'd come in the evening. Feel good out here. Feel good out here. It's getting closer and closer every day to the fall. So feels good out here. Feels good out here. Come out here in the evening and talk to you guys. Uh, but I want to talk about something. Uh, self. Self-esteem. A lot of people got self-esteem issues. In life, they're trying to navigate things in life. They feel like, uh, they have to be somebody else besides themselves. In life, I've had those issues where I feel like you got to be a certain way around certain people, instead of just sticking to what you feel and how you operate. And sometimes it comes out of anxiety, uh, out of pressure, out of persuasion, a lot of times, and we don't express the way we really feel about people and about life. And so, just try to be yourself. Sometimes it's hard, especially being in a certain place or position. Uh, and I've noticed, especially being an African American male, I've seen a lot of, and it's good to see a lot of African American males, you know, expressing themselves the way they feel, as far as their appearance. Because it used to be a point where, a lot of males, they had to have a certain image. They had to have short hair, clean cut, trim, and it is nothing wrong with that. You should be presentable. But at the same time, there's certain things that has blocked us in the past from opportunities. And, I got certain friends. I'm proud of them because they're just, they wear the same hairstyle. Not saying that it's sloppy or anything, but it's still clean looking. And, they're just themselves. They have dreads, but they keep it cut, keep it clean. I mean, not cut, but, edged up. And, they still do what they have to do as far as, getting these positions as far as their jobs and career is concerned. And so, just be yourself. Being yourself will shine through more than anything. Don't try to conform to what people always have, as far as opinions of you. You just have to be yourself. A lot of times in a lot of situations, you may feel like you have to change the way you are. You have to fit in. You'll never get far. Most times you'll never get far if you trying to keep fitting in to please everybody. You have to be yourself. How you doing, Henrika? You have to be yourself. Don't always try to fit in with everybody. Don't always try to fit in with people because people always have people always have their opinions about things. And so, just be yourself at all times and see what happens. See what happens with things, situations, that you have. But, just always be yourself. Don't let people, don't let people try to change you the way you are. Go for it. Try to reach success. Just because somebody else ain't doing what they're supposed to do as far as going towards their success doesn't mean they could hold you back from what you're trying to do. Just because they don't want to push forward and really progress doesn't mean that you have to wait for them. It's like crabs in the barrel as far as that is concerned. It's always a crab trying to hold on to the crab that's trying to get out the pot. And so, that's the same thing with life. Don't let nobody hold you back in what you're trying to do in life, because people will try to. People will try to do that. But what and who you represent, you know, you have to stick with your own identity, But again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Hope you're having a great evening. Like I said, beautiful day out here. I said on this channel, I'm gonna just stick to lives because I love seeing people, me interacting with people on this channel. How you doing, JL? But always go for it. Go for it, not backwards in life. People try to hold you back in life for a lot of reasons. But always, try to move forward in what you're trying to do. Don't let nobody try to hold you back with things you're trying to do in life, But again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Just walking through my neighborhood. Pretty nice feeling out here. Take a walk out here in the evening time. Usually I come out here in the morning, but I said let me come out here. The sun is down, the sun is setting. Throughout the day it was kind of cloudy, but this evening is kind of a nice day to really walk and feel the nice air breeze. So try to take advantage of that as much as I can, try to take advantage of that as much as I can. But again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Hope you're having a great evening. Hope you're having a great evening. Let me know who's still in here. Again, appreciate y'all for being in here. I know it's a lot of noise, it's a lot of noise on my live, but again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Talk to you guys later. All right, peace.